Hello, Gene Schwimmer here. Welcome to today's vlog. First order of business today is to welcome a new subscriber, 7R. So welcome to the family, 7R, and I'm just wondering, could you be related to 7 of 9? Just asking. Now on to today's subject, which is about, well, it's about the press, but it's also about Kayleigh McEnany. If you're not watching her press conferences, which seem to come, or press briefings, White House press briefings, which usually are every Monday and every Wednesday around 1 o'clock New York time, Eastern time. If you're not watching those, you're really missing something, because she is really amazing. You really have to watch these to know what I'm talking about. But today, she made a very good point, pointing out, well, if you watch these press briefings, not just watching her, but the press, how terrible the press is, how they are, well, it's not just attacking Trump, that's all they seem to want to do, but in order to attack him, they pick the most ridiculous, unserious questions to ask, and they waste an entire press briefing asking these same questions over and over and over. But as bad as past press briefings have been, the conduct of the press today was, well, as bad as they seem to get each time in the past, or each press briefing. They always surprise me with the next press briefing, which is even worse. Today is a perfect example. We'll have to see if it can be any worse than the one today. They spent, the press, just about this entire press briefing asking two questions over and over again about a tweet that Trump made, and then again, just a tweet that he posted about NASCAR, about the Bubba Wallace noose that wasn't a noose controversy, and just a mention of the Confederate flag. Finally, Kayleigh McEnany got fed up with it, as she should have. Just listen, watch and listen.
Ventilators that we were able to deploy around the world and help other countries. So that's what I would have to say on COVID. And finally, I'd end with this. I was asked probably 12 questions about the Confederate flag. This president's focused on action, and I'm a little dismayed that I didn't receive one question on the deaths that we got in this country this weekend. I didn't receive one question about New York City shootings doubling for the third straight week, and over the last 7 days, shootings skyrocket by 142%. Not one question. I didn't receive one question about 5 children who were killed, and I'll leave you with this remark by a dad. It broke my heart. A dad of an 8-year-old lost in Atlanta this weekend. They say Black Lives Matters. You killed a child. She didn't do nothing to nobody, was his quote. We need to be focused on securing our streets, making sure no lives are lost, because all Black lives matter. That of David Dorn and that of this 8-year-old girl. Thank you.
McEnany is exactly right. You have to watch that press conference, the entire thing, to believe it, to see what she's talking about. But she is not exaggerating at all. They had no substantive, well, I won't say no, but very few substantive questions. And it was interesting as she was walking away. Well, you just saw it. As she's walking away, one of the reporters shouted out, well, we would love to ask more questions. That is not the point. The point is, I guess that reporter was saying, if she had stayed there longer, or if the press briefing had gone on longer, that they would have gotten to those questions. That is not the point. The point is, why did they not prioritize the importance of the questions? Well, they did. They prioritized the importance of the questions, and they decided that the ones that Kayleigh McEnany mentioned were not the priority. The priorities, obviously, for this press were whether Bubba Wallace should apologize and the Confederate flag. Those were their priorities. Those other questions that McEnany mentioned, they could have asked those at the very beginning. Press briefings do not go on forever. They could have, well, they did. As I said, they prioritized. They put the important questions to them first. They could have asked these other questions, and if time ran out before they could ask about Bubba Wallace and the Confederate flag, well, so be it. The important questions should be asked first. And again, as I said, the important questions to the press were the ones that were asked first. Those other ones to the press were not important. And I just want to end now on one of the questions that McEnany posited that they did not ask about this tragic killing. They talk about the right being violent and brandishing weapons, but it looks like these Black Lives Matter protesters, they're carrying weapons too. The difference between them and the right is they are firing those weapons. They riddled a car with bullets and killed, with multiple gunshot wounds, an 8-year-old girl. That's what McEnany was talking about, among the other killings of black people that Black Lives Matter and the press at that press briefing don't seem to think are worth asking about. Well, I'm just going to end now. I'm not going to end on a happy note, unfortunately, but it's something that everybody should watch. And it is the statement by the parents of that unfortunate, poor, dead 8-year-old girl, dead at the hands of Black Lives Matter.
Help me. Help my baby. She was only 8 years old. Right now is what, 30 minutes after the 6. She would have been on TikTok dancing in her phone. Just got finished eating. We understand the frustration of racial uproots. We understand. We ain't got nothing to do with that. We innocent. We didn't mean no harm. My baby didn't mean no harm. Somebody knows something.
They say Black Lives Matter. You killed your own. Killed your own this time. Just because of barrier. They killed my baby because she crossed the barrier and made a U-turn. You killed a child. She ain't do nothing to nobody.
They didn't give us time to make a U-turn. They started shooting on my car before we could even make a U-turn. Shooting my tires out. Like, why?
But Black Lives Matter.
My baby was shot in her bed.
Killing your own.
Nobody there to help
You
me.
killed an 8-year-old child.
Nobody.
She ain't did nothing to now one of y'all. She just wanted to get home to see her cousin. That's all she wanted to do. She just wanted to get home.
She died in my arms.
I'm just going to leave it there. As usual, thumbs up if you like this video. Share it with anybody you think would also like the video. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions for future topics, there's a comment section below the video. I love getting subscribers, so if more of you, or even better, all of you, could do what 7R did and subscribe, that would really be great. But most of all, come back and see me again. I look forward to seeing all of you again. And until I do see all of you again, bye.
Help me. Help my baby. She was only 8 years old. We innocent. We didn't mean no harm. My baby didn't mean no harm.